All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect brethren. I want to get in this article on RT that screams out prophecies to show you where we're at in this prophetic timeline and how we're at the end. And the great Babylon, America, is in a spiraling downfall to be destroyed. All right. It says, we Americans are now in a cold civil war. Despite Joe Biden's promise of unity during his 2020 U.S. presidential campaign, his administration has failed to unify the people. On the contrary, his divisive rhetoric means Americans are more polarized than ever. All right. So the disciples asked Yahushua what were going to be the signs of the end and the ushering in of Yahushua's eternal kingdom, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's eternal kingdom. All right. And Yahushua gave them the signs and indicators, not of the exact date and time, but of different events that will be taking place on the earth to tell you where we're at in that timeline. All right. And furthermore, he was simply recanting different prophecies that were revealed to the men of the Lord in times of old and past. All right. Because the scriptures and the prophecies are not of private interpretation. And the prophets have simply come back in their lot continually to preach the downfall of the current kingdom, because all these kingdoms that have been set up are contrary and wicked and adverse to the Heavenly Father and to righteousness. All right. It says, let's get a little bit of this. It says, I would argue that America has already fallen into what might be termed a cold civil war. Following the 2020 election, we the people just do not see eye to eye on several significant issues. It doesn't help that many of these were thrown at us all at once, beginning with the C-19. Since the first lockdown that pummeled our economy, Americans have been at fierce odds with each other over almost everything, especially if it's CV related. All right. So, the Son of the Heavenly Father, Yahushua, the world he calls Jesus, he explained to the disciples, which is outlined in Matthew 24, the signs of the times. All right. And in one of those indicators, he expressed that the love of many would be waxing cold. All right. And that's one of the things that you see across the globe. You're seeing people being desensitized to other people's welfare and their well-being and their feelings. All right. And they're starting to be completely cold and heartless. All right. And it's simply the prophecies, the dismantling of society, its wickedness reaching such a height, a peak, that lawlessness is just fucking rampant in society. The scripture says, because iniquity has abounded, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. So these people are heartless out here and don't give a fuck about their neighbor's well-being. We see crime. We see a pandemic of wave of crime going out across the society, we see different, not just American citizens, but citizens across the globe in their respective nations going at each other's throats, man. Citizens within their own nations, and then nation against nation as well. And then classes within those nations going against each other, all right? We see racial tension at an all-time high, all right? The juiced and the unjuiced. See? So, division and divisiveness, right? And conflict, turmoil, all-out hell is at an all-time high here on this earth, man. All right? And that is under what Yahushua said was what he was going to bring instead of unity. All right? It says, despite fucking Joe Biden's attempts to unify America, this place has never been so divided. It says, we vehemently disagree. That means like they extremely disagree over the jabs, the jab cards, band-aids, and masks. And President Biden isn't exactly trying to douse the flames with his divisive language. In February of last year, he demanded COVID vaccine compliance for all federal workers. Then in September, he shocked America with his comment that his patience is wearing thin with the millions of Americans who didn't want the shots. This was a bizarre statement coming from a U.S. president, especially since Americans, including those who choose not to be jabbed, are the people he works for. All right? And it goes on to talk about the dark winter and a massive outbreak of cases that he threatened to the masses, man. All right. It says, yet while the Biden administration remains laser focused on all things COVID, the leading cause of death in the U.S. for those between the ages of 18 and 45 is fentanyl overdose. The drug is flowing into the country as a result of the crisis at our southern border, which has been disastrous for both America and Mexico and highly profitable for drug cartels and human traffickers. This is a grim fact we can't ignore and sets the backdrop for the insecurity and chaos hurting our communities. All right. Hyperinflation is going on to speak of. Insurrection, which is uprising against the government, which Apostle Tahar broke down, goes into to be cut within. So this place is being fucking destroyed from within. All right. By its own goddamn citizens. Dissenters, as they call them. Oh yeah, CRT, which is that fucking Slovakia, that racial tension at its peak, the racial divide lines being drawn bolder and more defined than ever. You see? All right. Oh, holy hell. But I want to focus a little bit on this fentanyl. All right. Because this is a plague and a pestilence that the Most High promised was going to come and destroy the great Babylon and the world, man, for its evil. See? You got this extremely deadly, potent drug. They said it's 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. All right. And a drop the size of 3 grains of salt, a fraction of a raindrop, is deadly. Okay? And you have that shit flowing in, flooding in, not only from Mexico and from the southern South American countries, but you have it coming in from China, man. All right? And it's being masked and hidden like a Trojan horse and cut in all these different fucking drugs to just waste and destroy the American people, man. And it's doing an excellent fucking job. See? All right, it could be hidden in your shop, straight up in your herb, let alone coke. Okay, fucking and whatever else these people are fucking doing, pills for sure, and all these other manner of shit these people are on, which they've turned to and in droves from the depression of this so-called pandemic. Well, it is a pandemic. It's a so-called pandemic. See? It's a scam. But this is indeed a spirit, an evil spirit, a specter, a dark spirit that the Most High has loosed and released in society in the form of this opioid epidemic. All right? Because the Most High's intention is to destroy the Great Babylon in brutal fashion. All right? In torturous, painful, mournful fashion, man. All right? And that's all we're going to get right now. Oh, scope this. It says, at the same time, our country is being battered with back-to-back crises, including record-high crime in major cities. Never-ending pandemic. Biden can't shut down after all. See? All right? This is the Most High jacking this fucking place up. Amos 9 and 8, behold, the eyes of Yahweh power upon the sinful kingdom, that I'll destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So the Most High is beholding, like it says in the scriptures, his eyes are in every place beholding the wicked and the righteous deeds that are wrought on the earth by every last inhabitant that he created. All right? His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, which is just an analogy for him having immeasurable power. All right? But the Most High is viewing and beholding every fucking wicked, filthy, disgusting act and deed that is being done here under the sun here in this wicked, sinful kingdom. And his eyes are upon this fucking place, huh? All right? And he's seeking and endeavoring to destroy this place, which he could do with the snap of a finger, a blink of an eye. But it's according to his plan to dismantle this place, man. To beat it and break it down. And a lot of it is for his elect's sake. It's all for his sake, but when you, as a king, as a father, you do shit for your heirs. All right? It's just nature. That the Most High orchestrated, created as such. So it's ultimately for his elect's sake that he's going to allow us to behold the breaking down of the place that so violently and so mournfully oppressed us. All right? And he will destroy it from off the face of the earth. saving that he will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, which the 2/3 is going to be wiped out. So that's in reference to the 1/3, man. All right, the Most High has 1/3, 144,000 of the nation of Israel preserved for salvation. Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So you have the great Babylon, America, divided on all fronts. You know, it started somewhat with that slavery, right? You had some people divided on those views in the inception of America, all the way to these political parties, the plebeians and patricians, which are your modern day fucking Democrats and Republicans. All right. On the fronts of medical opinions. All right. Across all fucking facets and topics is this fucking place divided. See? They can't get together and decide what they want to have for a goddamn meal, let alone what they want to do to establish what legislation they want to establish. See? That's why this place is being brought to desolation. And it's written in its fate. It's written on the pages of the fate of America for it to stay divided, never going to unify, so that it can be brought to desolation. That's the whole purpose. All right? It's going to crumble as it is and has been. It's in Isaiah 19:2. I'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So, this is the modern day Egypt, as pretty much it as broken down in the scriptures through the precepts, okay? Because Egypt is not the name for that landmass that got pelted with the plagues back in the time of Moses. All right, his name wasn't Egypt. So you have to extrapolate to find out what Egypt is. Just like it's throughout the scriptures, it's mysteries of the translation, the interpretation is not private, but it's secret, meaning there's different precepts and passages and pathways that you have to take in order to arrive at that translation, at that interpretation, through the precepts, right? And through like an equation, you have to plug and chug, man. All right. But Egypt is another word for bondage. All right. Because that landmass over there is Mizraim, Atazariam. And Egypt is simply a house of bondage. All right. And that's in reference to America. If you see the parallels from Egypt to America, it's fucking damning. All right. So the Egyptians are Americans. Straight up can be substituted for Americans. See, these Americans are fighting against each other, and it's going to get to the point to an all-out civil war. All right, Reloaded 2.0, where bloodshed will be spilled all over the streets of America for the divided views, the different divided stances that people have across a myriad of facets of different areas and topics, categories, man. They're gonna go at each other's necks. They're gonna spill blood. All right. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I'll destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." All right. So the spirit of Egypt is fucking failing. All right. Right here in the midst of it. This place is fucking failing, man. All right. Isaiah 19:14, Yahweh Shemashai hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. We just went over fucking 7 topics, 7 woes, if you will, which is pretty much just methods of destruction, different ways that this place is being fucking destroyed. That's going down current day, in this very moment as we speak here in the Great Babylon, man. All right, you have opioid epidemic. You have the CV-19 fucking going haywire. More infections, more reported infected cases of infections than any other time during the pandemic. All right, you have crime at an all-time holy hell high rate. All right, race crimes, racial tension. All right, you have fucking food crises, shortage of goods, and hyperinflation. All right, fucking further crippling the citizens of Babylon. Egypt is erring in every work thereof, man. All right, and a goal to fucking wipe this place out, man. All right, this is the Most High fucking doing his magnificent work, tearing this place down with violence. All right. It says in Revelations 18, this whole thing is just money. It's perfect, but I'm going to stay right here and get this. In the second verse, it says, "And he cried mighty with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird." Okay? So, the great Babylon is fucking fallen, man. It's destroyed. It's already done in the spirit. Pariyah Bashim Yahushai, as time and space are not binding to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and even really to his elect, into Yahushai, as it is written, he declared the end before the beginning, and he sealed up and locked up his elect were already with him in the beginning in the form of the Allahayim, man. See? So it's already done. Babylon is already fucking destroyed. And it's being revealed and it's coming out how wicked and demonic and satanic this fucking place is. See, it says right here, it's become the habitation of devils and every foul spirit, cage of every unclean and hateful bird. It's been revealed that Babylon is the source and epicenter of all wickedness and unrighteousness and iniquity. All right? It has pressed forth. Most I willing, another edition, I'll hit up this entire chapter, Yahweh Shem Shai Ratazah. Because this fucking wicked, filthy, putrid place has polluted the minds of the nations, the masses of the people, towards wickedness, man. It has propagated it throughout the earth. And for that, like it says in the scriptures, what do you think is going to be the judgment for turning many away from the Most High as a standard? All right? That's why this place is going to suffer the worst judgment that any place has ever suffered. It says in the scriptures it would be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in that day than for the great Babylon. All right? And we give all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai for giving the elect the ability and the vision and the sight to see the destruction of the worst nation, the worst fucking captivity that any human has ever been, that any people has ever been in the face of the earth, in the history of mankind. All right? And with that, all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. Shalom.